into it up close with our mover and shaker. Fernando Visage is the founder of SERVE, an NGO which is aimed at mobilizing the youth to take cognizance of what is happening in their community and to take action against any ills. He's a former inmate from the Uppington Correctional Centre, where he was detained in a maximum security juvenile facility. He completed his studies in prison. He was also a volunteer tutor teaching ABET and grade 10 to 11 economics and Afrikaans, and prepared matrics for their final exams as well. He joins us in our Kimberley studio. Fernando Visage, our mover and shaker tonight, an ex-offender and founder of youth NGO SERVE. Good evening to you, Fernando, and thank you so much for joining us. So welcome onto the Talk Shop.
Good evening, ma'am. Pleasure, and good evening to all the listeners. With the introduction and the correction, I should probably say that SERVE is I'm one of the co-founders of SERVE because it's way bigger than me, and it's an entire network of young people across from around across the country that joined up to actually initiate this.
Tell us about SERVE is.
Okay, SERVE is an awareness and volunteer youth organization. Our aim at SERVE is we are trying. Our objective that we need to reach here is we are trying to redefine the face of the volunteer, so that young people develop an interest of service and giving back, to create an awareness of the impacts of volunteerism within communities, and also to be part of the change that we want to see in our country and in our communities. By mass mobilizing these young people and getting them involved in quite a lot of interesting ways now to develop their community, moving away from conventional strategies.
Fernando, tell us about some of the programs that form part of mobilizing of young people. Okay,
the program, I should also say that I'm a first-year student at the Activate Leadership for Public Innovation Institute, and Activate is a really amazing institute, as it forms a group of young people across the country that we meet up with. Activate provides us with the platform, I should say, the platform where we get together, like as we did now, the service, the leadership now. We got together with one of the facilitators, and just in our sessions that we have there as part of our first year residential training program, it just drives you to go out there in your community and do what needs to be done for the rubbish to be removed right now, and asking and telling people, stop throwing these things around. Let us use recycle projects. Let us start this mass activity in our community. Let us claim the streets now again and say this is for us now. We can live in a happy and clean and healthy environment. You see, so SERVE is, like I said now, by integrating with others, participants can understand the concept of service and responsibility, and in that way become positive role models in their communities. Volunteering is one of the most unifying and cost-effective investment in the future of this country now. You see, so we are there as service to facilitate this change, to engage with local government, local municipality, and get people on board now, stakeholders, because we have a non-conventional planning project that Activate actually showed us, brought into our lives now, and it just gives you a lot of exciting ways on how to be creative and innovative and having fun with responsibility at the same time, and empowering the youth, because we are facing so much challenges as a youth, getting there on the streets, seeing these things, and going into prison and experiencing a mess in your life, whereas you don't want to go back and you don't want to see that again.
Tell us about how you mobilize young people, because like you say, young people today are faced with all kinds of challenges, and a lot of them are in a place where they've lost hope. They don't believe that things can be turned around. They believe that this is their situation and they are frustrated in that situation and they're doing the best that they can, some of them even losing their way.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's a very good question. You see, ma'am, what happens here, in my profile that I emailed to you guys, I mentioned that I have been outside of prison like for almost a year now. On the 8th of October, I will be out of prison for like the next a year now. And there is so much things that I managed to achieve in so little time. So I was in prison for 7 years. So everything was new to me. I had to like reintegrate back into society where there were people that I did hurt because I was involved with this gangsterism thing, and this person lost his life, and it's also within my community. So I really had to like repent for what I have done now and see what I can do in my community as people can our youngsters in my community cannot follow the exact same route that I did, because it landed me in a very unfortunate situation, whereas my life, I wouldn't say I lost out on a lot, and but I did, there's so many regrets now, but I should not focus on that. So Activate, this is the program that came into my life as well, because while I was in prison, I studied IT, so I moved into my second year, but once I found out about Activate, I actually took a semester break last year. This year now, the first semester I took a break just so that I can focus on this Activate, because we moved into a really exciting program at the training camp. As I mentioned, our residential training camps in Johannesburg. It's our inland node. And we get there, and these people, they teach us so much on what to do in your communities. They give you these assignments, whereas you have to go and practically do these things in your community. Go to your municipality, know your local council, look at the health facilities that is in your place that is non-existent. Look at the recreational infrastructure, development infrastructure. They make you look at that thing, take pictures of that things, and you need to do some research. So it's not a conventional way, but a very professional way as well, because exciting and innovative. They make you think about no box at all, because as my first year, I was introduced to this my community project that I had to do. I had to like go and ask people questions and all that.
How were you introduced to Activate?
Activate. My cousin is a second year activator, and while we were having a chat on Facebook and all, the Facebook people now was so. She just told me, and I had to like write an essay. So I told them exactly everything about me. I needed to be honest, because I told them I came out of prison recently. I have travel restrictions, so I cannot be at certain places where you want me without consulting the authorities, because I am still on parole for another 6. And we have to have this good relationship with the Department of Correctional Service as well, because they want to show the people that they actually released rehabilitated offenders out into the communities that is coming and driving this change that we want to see, because we need to give back to our communities. As we offended them, in a lot of ways we can describe these horrible crimes that people commit that is actually in prison. But one must not forget it is part of a nation as well. So there's also, you cannot place judgment on any offender in prison. So it depends on that person coming out of prison and becoming a habitual thing now of committing crimes and all that thing. We don't want that. We want, hence I also mentioned that, you mentioned that I did some tutoring, volunteer tutoring in prison economics and Afrikaans, and I actually assisted old people, because where I was incarcerated was communal cells. People cannot write, people cannot read. So chances are, without utilizing these opportunities that the Department of Correctional Service offer inside their facilities, you would become involved in these things again and complete a vicious cycle now. So we don't, I have that hands-on practical experience. I go to the guys and I'm asking them, I had to Activate Drive. I'm a first year student, like I said, for Activate. So they entrusted me with actually presenting Activate in Kimberley now and recruiting activators for the intake 5. The applications which closes on the 30th of October now. You see, we could see that not too much people know about Activate in the Northern Cape, and you could see how many people is in so much trouble with drugs and all that violence and all that stuff. It's socially depressing when you really go out to these isolated, I emphasize on that, isolated and marginalized communities, because it's so unfair. You can walk right across the street and you see these people have proper drainage systems. They have these state-of-the-art multi-purpose centers and all that, whereas there's totally nothing in your community. So you cannot wait another 5 years or 4 years. We are the guys that say, what can we do now?
Fernando, I want to talk about your journey. We're talking to an ex-offender and co-founder of youth NGO Serve. His name is Fernando Visage, and he's joining us from our Kimberley studios. This is a young man who's really taking the second chance that he's been given with both hands. He completed his studies at the Uppington Correctional Center, and he was also a volunteer tutor in prison, teaching ABET and grade 10 and 11 economics and Afrikaans. And he also prepared matrics for the final exams, and he is now an activator, and he is taking part in the Activate Leadership for Public Innovation. It is his first year of study, and he has taken a semester break from his IT studies to focus his attention on the Activate Leadership for Public Innovation program. Tell us about how you came to be in prison. What happened?
Ma'am, it's quite a touching story, and one has to be quite sensitive about the other side as well, the people that you actually offended, and you cannot just speak out. Because what DCS, the Department of Correctional, does, they make people engage with the social restorative justice program, where they get to empower the victim and also ask the offender now to seek forgiveness from the people that you have offended now, you see, because it's crime that has been committed, a person's life has been lost. So I grew up to be this young boy now with so much talent and all that on my high school, my primary school level. So due to a lot of social psychological things that intervene in your life now, you see, like abuse and the things that people don't usually want to talk about, and that I need, as an awareness campaign that we are driving, I need to talk about what I have been through, what was the circumstances in the household, and how did I become to do what I did, and so on. So for me, I was involved with the wrong crowd, at a very young age. So I was negatively influenced. I went to seek comfort from home, being with these guys now, selling drugs on the streets now, and
were you part of a gang, or was this just young people that got together?
We were never a gang, I should say. We were never a gang. It was just this entertaining crew now. We just want to do a lot of stuff, but we did the wrong things now. We smoked drugs and sold drugs and fight a lot and all that. So it was just this aggression and all the other things in my life that I just don't understand. So I got to understand while I was in prison that this is not me. I have so much potential, and I always tell myself that I'm special because I went through so much, and at the end of the day, I still have that positive energy and that total commitment to live my life out to the fullest and help other people actually live a normal life as well. because I believe that is my destiny in life, to like work on the streets, hands on with the people, go out there and spread out a message and see what we can do about this. Because an interesting saying, this lady said that we should try to fail rather than fail to try.
Absolutely. What brought about that change in your life? I mean, like you say, you had bright dreams like everybody else, but circumstances and your family situation had you taking a different path. What brought you to the place where you are now, where you're saying, I want to bring about change, I want to work in my community to do good, I want to counteract the ills that I'm seeing in my community? What brought that about? What happened?
I would like to say this, ma'am, and it's really emotional when you come to think of the people that the community is leaving behind in prison, because they don't go and support their family. So what pulled me through this was the support structure I got from my family and my friends, while I was still in prison, because like in studies and all that thing is quite expensive, and you will want to study after completing your formal education. Because me, I was in grade 11 at the time, did these things now, and I completed my matric.
So you were in grade 11 when you were convicted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to 13 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here you are in prison, new matric?
I completed my matric in Uppington in 2007. Then I was still in a maximum juvenile security facility now, because you have to be at a certain stage of your sentence now, under 10 years, to be classified as a low risk or medium risk offender. So I had to wait until I get back to the medium risk now. But there were also times I got despondent because it's a dangerous place whenever the people inside a cell, like I would say a cell, doesn't have that togetherness now and being friendly and talking about things now. It's an entire community, because it's a lot of people that you don't know, that it's a totally different stage in your life that you never prepared for, you never planned to be here now. So for me, really, it's quite it's a tricky thing to say. I went to take some time now after completing this treatment, and there's just this twisted way that your life can all of a sudden become just wrapped against something. So
I understand that due to the frustration of not being able to study further, and you had to deregister for a tertiary, a qualification or program that you had registered for, you became despondent and you found yourself, doing drugs and selling drugs in prison. And the question is, what brought about this change from this Fernando Visage, who is a young man who is angry, who is frustrated, who is, doing and selling drugs in a correctional facility, knowing very well that this is a criminal offense, and from that young man to this driven young man who knows what he wants in life, who wants to work with the community in making sure that other young people don't end up in the same situation that you are in.
Yeah, ma'am. With me, as I also mentioned, mostly in my profile with you, I did say I got sentenced to another 6 years in prison. 6 months, 6 months for being in possession of these things now. So I thought to myself, now, why am I doing this? Why do I need to do this? Because this will destroy my life, and I'm seeing people doing that. I was still young at that time. I was supposed to do something else with my life. I was just not ready for a place like prison. So I got involved with yet a few other guys as well in prison, and it kicked in when I said to myself, man, I'm not part of this, because in prison you have your system there that I would not like to explain now. It will take you quite some time now. System with the gangs and all that, you probably know about that. So I moved away from that, and I said, no, this is a must. I don't need this in my life. want to be away from what I come from now, the violence and all that aggression inside of me. Now you are actually influencing me, or not supporting me to do something constructive with your life now. Then you just get this old persons in prison that is really tired of whatever they did now. They have been in prison for quite a long time. Yeah, and you get to meet with guys like that has been in prison for 24 years. By that time I was about 20 years. So I never saw myself going to end up like this old man. And the story behind this old man is that he regrets everything that he did now. And he not do anything about it. He's growing old in prison.
What about family support? I mean, here you're talking about this old man who's growing old in prison. He clearly never really got to be a part of his children's life, if he had any. His siblings, he was totally removed from what was happening in his family. What was happening in your life at that particular point in time? What kind of family support were you getting to help you to get to this I can change my life?
Yeah, man. Me staying in Kimberley and had to be incarcerated now, say about 400 kilometers away from me. I had to manage without my family for like 6 or 7 months or so. They would only afford to come and visit me on family days and so on. But they would send me a package and with my toiletry stuff that I need and all. So as for the other people as well, they don't get to share these things now in prison as well. You see, because people in prison is also you get to form another unity with another family. You can decide for yourself, will you love each other or will you destroy each other? Because that's what certain people do now. And I just decided that I can no longer grab onto or hold on to something that plays no value in my life. I need to attach values, moral values into my life and actually go out there and do something, because I know that if I still have this hope, then I can get out of prison with healthy, alive and all that. And because it kicks in now when I just talk about it. The support I recently asked for fellow activators from the Western Cape area to actually assist us with a research program for a road and a campaign awareness campaign whereas we would want to create a support structure for these offenders in Kimberley with say the visiting now. Cape Town is I think it's 1,000 kilos away from Kimberley, so that people have it less fair, but we should also understand that the DCS Correctional Service is trying their utmost best to accommodate people wherever they can accommodate people, because we should be building universities, not prisons and all that. No more prisons here. You see,
so when you got out of prison, as you said, you'd been in prison for 7 years, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
7 years in prison. It must have been a huge adjustment.
Yeah, for me, even quite now, I'm still not used to certain ways of doing things right outside now. You see, I'm still nervous when I get to in busy traffic and all that. You see, and the danger also in your community that you are exposed to as an offender, that you need to adhere to your parole conditions and all that. The danger that you are exposed to. Now, the only people that can protect you is your community if you are working together, and the other people that should also protect you now is the Correctional Service, SAPS. Security in everyone's life is very much important, because I actually suffered a mere kind of depression now with everything going on, because it was these people, then this young boy goes again and he commits this crime that you were there in prison for all this time. And it's in the street, it's right around the corner. People still stab each other and people still smoke drugs in the streets and all that. I'm going there, I'm talking to these people. I'm actually blowing my cover now, because I did a lot of research and I have all the facts.
I want to talk about, some of these challenges that you're meeting on the outside and how you're dealing with them. I understand that your community and community support is very important, but I'm sure the temptation sometimes is there to just revert back to the ways that you know, and how do you withstand that kind of temptation? We're talking to Fernando Visage. He is our mover and shaker. He's an ex-offender and co-founder of youth NGO Serve Is, and he joins us in our Kimberley studios. He was detained in a maximum security juvenile facility at the Uppington Correctional Centre, where he completed his studies and became a volunteer tutor in prison teaching ABET and grade 10 and 11 economics and preparing matrics for their final exams. Fernando Visage is our mover and shaker tonight. Call us on 08